Chosen ones, what I am about to share may shake the foundation of what you've believed. Yet it is the truth your soul is waiting to receive. If you are seeing this message right now, it is no coincidence. Divine providence has guided you here with intent. A powerful transformation is on the horizon, and your life is about to enter a dimension you have yet to imagine. You're being called to step away from the walls of churches, for God has decreed that your presence there is no longer required. While churches serve many, they are not meant for you. You are chosen, profoundly cherished by God, and He is preparing you for a higher plane. You may have known betrayal, rejection, or disappointment from those still tethered to worldly patterns. But remember this, God does not walk alongside those who seek to diminish your light. If you follow the crowd, what distinguishes you from them? True communion with God requires no building, no formal ceremony. You can reach Him anywhere at any moment. Your spiritual journey transcends physical space. It resides deep within you, and the divine is ready to reveal itself in ways you have never yet conceived. Before we immerse ourselves in this transformative message, pause for a moment. Do 3 things. Press like, subscribe to help us reach 40,000 souls, and comment the number 99. This simple act channels the energy of this message outward, sending a powerful signal to the universe. And remember, if you are truly chosen, your attention will remain until the very end. Have you ever sensed that you don't truly belong in a church? That feeling exists for a reason. You are meant to walk a path unlike anyone else, a sacred journey that does not need the boundaries of a traditional church to commune with God. You are not ordinary, and neither is the journey you are called to undertake. God has separated you for a purpose extraordinary, and this path knows no walls to contain it. The world may gaze at you with confusion or even scorn, questioning your departure from conventional worship. But you are being drawn to something far more profound, something intensely personal that surpasses rituals and routines. Your bond with God is not bound to a sermon or a pew. It thrives in the stillness and depth of your own heart. This is not a denouncement of church itself, but an invitation to a more intimate, authentic relationship with the divine. Church provides structure, community, and learning for those still navigating their spiritual journey. Yet for you, the chosen one, God calls you to a path uniquely your own. A journey where spirituality is a deeply sacred personal experience. Perhaps you have wondered why your journey feels so distinct from others, why attendance has left a sense of longing or incompleteness. The answer is clear. You are meant to walk a path that is yours alone, a path that steps beyond the familiar and enters the realm of direct communion with God, untouched by human institutions. God's design for you exceeds the familiar constraints of church attendance and ritual. He has singled you out to encounter Him in a deeply personal, unrestricted way. This is your chance to cultivate a relationship with the divine on your terms, grounded in sincerity, unfiltered by tradition, and open to direct communication. Embrace this journey with faith and anticipation, even if its destination remains unclear, for it will guide you into a connection with God more profound and fulfilling than you have ever known. You have been summoned to a higher calling, one that transcends the walls of any church, and in this calling, the divine walks beside you unmediated. For many, churches offer solace, structure, and belonging. But for you, the chosen one, the ordinary church can no longer contain the magnitude of your purpose. Churches were built for those seeking community, for those still finding their path. Yet you are called to something beyond the ordinary experience. God has opened a direct passage to Himself for you, one that bypasses rituals and human-made constraints. While others cling to walls and familiar routines, you are summoned to embody your divine identity, to live your faith as a personal, intimate journey. Your purpose is vast, untethered, and cannot be confined to the architecture of any building. Being chosen is not a mark of superiority. It is a testament to God's trust in you. He has entrusted you with a destiny that requires freedom from conventional structures. On this path, you will encounter intimacy with the divine, spiritual liberation, and a sense of sacred purpose. While the church has long been a place of worship, guidance and connection for you, the chosen one, God invites you into a more profound private relationship. Here, rituals, sermons, and edifices are no longer necessary. Your dialogue with God can occur in the quiet of your heart, in every breath, in every moment, transforming ordinary existence into living prayer. Imagine that God Himself has decreed, the moment has come for you to step away from church. This is not a call to abandon faith or divine connection. It is an awakening to a higher form of communion. The time has arrived to release the old ways, to embrace a relationship with God that is deeper, more authentic and unfettered by tradition. Churches now cater to the unchosen, to those still seeking structure, while you are called to a direct, intimate path. Your bond with God is no longer mediated. It is immediate, personal, and wholly free. This is your spiritual liberation. Release the familiar, step boldly into your freedom, and know that God's love empowers every step of this sacred journey. Letting go of what is known is never simple, yet it is through this act that a richer, more genuine connection with the divine is revealed. When you cease relying on church structures, you open yourself to a world of spiritual authenticity. Initially, it may feel disorienting. The rhythms and rituals you once depended upon may seem absent, but this is the invitation to live fully, authentically and freely, where every thought, every breath, every heartbeat becomes a sacred conversation with the divine, and where the entirety of your being is embraced by God's infinite presence. Your connection with the divine has never depended on structures or systems, but on the quiet, intimate bond that grows between your soul and the one who shaped it. Being chosen means you carry the strength to follow your spiritual purpose without waiting for anyone to lead you or approve what you feel within. God Himself becomes your compass, inviting you into a life where freedom expands, purpose deepens, and your connection with Him becomes clearer than ever. Step forward with calm assurance and unwavering trust, knowing that this is exactly the place your journey was meant to bring you. Not every soul is called to the road you are walking. Many who have not yet awakened, the unchosen who still search for spiritual, meaning inside external systems, go to church because they depend on it. They lean on the rituals, the community, and the structure to orient themselves toward God. But for you, the chosen one, these outer supports are no longer necessary. You are being invited into a far more intimate and profound relationship with the divine, one that rises above buildings and routines. Your bond with God is direct, personal, and incredibly powerful. While others continue to seek the sacred through institutions, you have been ushered into a space of spiritual freedom, a realm where you can speak to God in your own language, in your own way, without anyone standing between you and Him. This doesn't mean the church is wrong for those who still need it. It simply reveals that your path does not mirror theirs. You are not attached to the same necessities that guide those who rely on the church for spiritual direction. You were chosen for a different journey entirely, one where every step leads straight into the presence of God, who walks beside you with unwavering love. Perhaps you once believed that your connection with God could only be valid within a church building, that His presence rested inside walls and weekly gatherings. But what if the truth is far more beautiful than that? God knows you beyond any physical place. Your relationship with Him is not limited to a morning service or a list of sacred gestures. It is alive, breathing through every moment, woven into every corner of your life. His love for you is constant, personal, and unbreakable. He knows your heart, your wounds, your hopes, your hidden desires. This is why the church is no longer required. For you to reach Him, the divine is already within you, with you, speaking through you, guiding your steps, and filling your life with purpose. You are not separated from God by rituals or distance. You walk in union with Him at every moment. This realization is liberating. It reveals that your spiritual worth does not need external approval. You are already whole, already chosen, already deeply loved. As you follow the path God has shaped for you, you may face pushback from those who remain tied to the old ways. Some may question your choices or mock your shift, unable to understand the depth of what you have stepped into. Many will misinterpret your spiritual freedom as confusion or rebelliousness. Some may even betray you, dismissing your path as misguided. But this betrayal is not punishment, it is confirmation. It shows you that your journey was never meant to match theirs, that you have been set apart for a purpose beyond what most can grasp. These moments of rejection and misunderstanding may sting, yet they invite growth. They teach you to trust your calling, to anchor yourself in your divine connection, and to remain steady even when others cannot comprehend your path. Your journey is not meant for everyone, and that truth is not a flaw, but a blessing. Many of those who turn against you stay within the church because they need its structure to feel secure. They rely on the familiar rhythm and the approval of the group to reassure them of their faith. You, however, do not need that reassurance anymore. You have already found your grounding in God, and that alone sustains you. For so long, you may have chased acceptance through rituals and traditions, attending services, following rules, trying to blend in, believing your spiritual value depended on external measures. But God is calling you now to release the need for validation, whether from the church or from others. You are already chosen, already loved, already empowered to walk your path with confidence. The world will attempt to convince you that you need an institution, to define your faith, to shape your belief, to give your spiritual life meaning. But the truth is that no building can validate what God has already affirmed. You belong to Him, you are His chosen one, and your worth has never depended on anything outside of His voice. This is the time to embrace who you truly are. Step forward, knowing that you are chosen for something extraordinary, that your bond with God is the most authentic expression of your life. The approval of others no longer matters. When you rest securely in the love and validation that come directly from God Himself, there will always be those who cling tightly to tradition, who cannot imagine a spiritual journey without the comfort of structure or the opinions of others. They may judge your choices, label your path, or misunderstand your direction. But what they see is a reflection of their own fears, not a reflection of you. The truth is that those who resist your path remain within the church because they depend on it. They need the reassurance of the familiar to feel spiritually safe. But you, the chosen one, no longer require that kind of validation. You have outgrown it. Your security comes from your direct connection with God, and that is more than enough. Leaving the church is not an act of rebellion, it is an act of liberation. You are stepping into your spiritual identity, trusting that God is guiding your every movement. The opinions of others fade away. The moment you recognize who you truly are and the divine purpose that has always been written for you in the tapestry of your life, you have been given a calling that transcends old beliefs. For years, many thought that approaching God required intermediaries, a priest, a pastor, a ritual, someone to stand in the gap and speak on behalf of the congregation. These mediators were believed to hold the key to the divine. Yet now you are stepping into a reality that is new and alive, one where no barrier is necessary between your heart and God. Your connection to the sacred is direct, intimate, and all-encompassing. This is the true essence of being chosen. No church, no sermon, no structured rite is required to feel the pulse of God within you. Your dialogues with the divine can unfold in your living room, amidst the beauty of nature, or in the silent sanctuary of your own heart. Every breath, every pause becomes a chance to commune, to receive guidance, to feel His unwavering love. This shift is not merely freeing, it is empowering. You are no longer tethered to external frameworks to sense God's presence. Your relationship with Him is vibrant, unbroken, alive in every instant, flowing within you without pause. Trust in the potency of this direct bond and allow yourself to embrace the liberation it provides. Stepping away from the church does not signal a rejection of faith. It is a courageous embrace of your true divine calling. You are invited to live a life authentic to your soul, unbound by the expectations, judgments, or limitations imposed by others. Your spiritual journey is yours alone, and now is the moment to fully honor it. The strength of your purpose is not found in rituals or outward practices, but in the intimate communion you nurture with God each day. Leaving the church opens the space for your singular spiritual path to unfold, a journey of freedom, discovery, and profound intimacy with the divine. As you move forward, know that God walks with you at every step. He has already placed within you all that you need to answer your calling, and He guides you toward a life that mirrors your true purpose. Embrace the fullness of your divine identity and move boldly into the unfolding future. Once the church may have been the center of spiritual life, yet today it has shifted for many into a place of comfort, routine and habit rather than growth. For you, the chosen one, it no longer holds the sustenance your spirit seeks. You have been set apart for something far greater, a connection with God that transcends walls and formalities. This does not mean the church is wrong. It simply highlights the uniqueness of your path. You are called to a higher purpose, one where the divine is immediate, personal, and transformative. The rituals of the past no longer resonate because your soul has matured. You are being beckoned towards something alive within you, a calling that shines through your own being. Embrace this change fully. You are summoned to walk in the light of divine purpose. The path ahead promises spiritual depth and fulfillment beyond the familiar. It is not the easiest path, but it is the most beautiful, requiring courage, faith, and a trust in God that is unwavering. By stepping away from conventional church structures, you embrace a life guided entirely by the divine. This is not a renunciation of faith, but a step into a truer, more intimate communion. Your path is uniquely yours, full of spiritual richness, unfolding growth and divine purpose. God accompanies you at every moment, leading you to places you may never have imagined. Walk confidently in the direction of His guidance. Knowing your selection for this path carries profound significance. Your journey is one of authenticity, freedom, and unwavering connection. Choosing to step beyond the church is not abandoning faith, it is claiming a deeper, more sacred alignment with God. This choice transcends ritual. It is an acknowledgement that your bond with the divine cannot be contained by any institution. Previously, you may have looked to the church to structure your spirituality, to define your faith, to shape your understanding. Now you realize that the fullness of God cannot be held in buildings or ceremonies. The sacredness of this awareness comes from knowing that God is with you wherever you go. You are not lost without external structure. You are found in the essence of who you are, chosen and deeply cherished by the divine. By stepping away, you reclaim spiritual freedom. You no longer require human-imposed boundaries to validate your faith. Your relationship with God is intimate, unstructured, and alive beyond any measure of ritual or routine. This freedom allows your soul to move, grow, and express itself authentically. As you embrace this phase, trust that the path is sacred. The divine is closer now than ever before, calling you to experience God with profound immediacy. This freedom is a gift, proof of the depth and strength of your connection. Tradition has its place, offering comfort to many, yet for you, it has become a limit. You are called to move beyond the old ways, to flow with the living, evolving presence of the divine. Your spirit hungers for a reality that is dynamic, fluid, and expansive. God invites you into the fullness of this transformation. Breaking free from tradition does not negate the values you have learned. It means your connection with God is alive, adaptable, and personal. The divine is never static, and your relationship with God is meant to evolve with each breath, each moment. By living in this flow, you open yourself to growth, revelation, and the joy of experiencing the sacred in every facet of life. You no longer need prescribed paths to validate your journey. You are guided by the inner voice of God, filled with love and wisdom, carrying you into each new chapter. This relationship is vibrant, personal, and constantly renewing. As you surrender to this current, you will find your heart attuned to God in every instant. Spirituality will no longer feel rigid or imposed. Instead, you will feel the freedom to create, express, and live your faith in ways uniquely yours. You are chosen for a life of fluidity, depth, and authenticity. and it is time to trust the course laid before you. The sermons, hymns, and rituals you once attended now echo differently, as your soul hungers for a connection that surpasses conventional forms. This is not doubt or rebellion. It is awakening to a higher, richer reality. The silence of the church is not emptiness. It is an invitation. In that quiet, the divine speaks the loudest. God is not confined to walls or schedules. His voice is everywhere, within and around you, waiting for your attention. Letting go of formalized teachings allows him to speak directly into your life, in intimate, powerful ways. You are called to seek God beyond tradition, to embody your faith as a reflection of your unique relationship with the divine. The stillness is sacred, the absence of structure a space for His presence to be felt more deeply than ever before. The path you walk is not one most follow. It is less traveled because it is unfamiliar, unstructured, and often misunderstood. Yet it is the road of courage, faith, and divine trust, the path of the chosen. The road that lies before you is unlike the paths most tread. It is the journey that God has painted specifically for your life, brimming with spiritual abundance and blessings that reveal themselves only to those brave enough to walk it fully. The path of the chosen is often solitary, not because you are abandoned, but because the world struggles to recognize your calling. You may face skepticism, resistance, and even ridicule. Yet none of it diminishes the assurance that God walks with you. His love is the light that guides your steps, the quiet strength that propels you forward even when the world moves in the opposite direction. While many seek comfort in the familiar, you are summoned to embrace the discomfort that growth demands. This journey will stretch your limits, challenge old patterns, and shape you into the person God always envisioned you to be. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were called to forge a trail that reflects your unique divine purpose. Trust that each step along this less traveled road brings you closer to the fullness of your spiritual destiny. The rewards are immense, yet they require a heart willing to trust, to release expectations, and to step fully into the life God has designed solely for you. A stirring awakens within, a deep knowing, a sense that your spiritual life is nudging you towards something greater. You have sensed the shift. The familiar life you knew is transforming, and you are being invited to step into a reality richer than anything the traditional church has offered. This awakening is God's call to live with deeper authenticity, higher purpose, and unmediated communion with the divine. Spiritual awakening often carries with it a sense of separation from the old ways. As your inner senses heighten, the routines and teachings of the church no longer resonate with the path you are called to walk. This is not a rejection of God's word. It is the recognition that His living presence flows through your daily life. Ready to be experienced fully, awakening is never a destination. It is a continuous journey. It will challenge, inspire, and reveal to you the true depth of your identity as a chosen one. You will learn to live your faith in ways that are intimate, personal, and aligned with the singular calling placed upon your life. Embrace this awakening with open arms, trusting that God is guiding you into a connection that transcends tradition and ritual. You are invited to experience Him fully, uniquely, and profoundly, in ways unlike anything you have known before. True freedom for the chosen one emerges when we step beyond the confines of ritual, tradition, and the need for approval. To live in authentic freedom is to allow God's presence to flow through every moment of your life. It is a life unbound by expectations or imposed structures, where your spiritual calling unfolds in its most genuine form. Freedom is not license to do as you please. It is alignment with the highest purpose your soul was designed to fulfill. When you walk in the Spirit, you are guided by God toward experiences that nurture your soul, refine your being, and bring your life into harmony with divine intention. There are no boundaries to your journey, no limits to the ways you can commune with the divine. This freedom lifts the weight of man-made expectations and invites you to trust the guidance that springs from within. Validation no longer comes from without, It has always resided in the quiet strength of your spirit. As you step into this liberation, know that every movement is guided, every path illuminated. Your journey is uniquely yours, a living testament to spiritual autonomy, and a passage to the fullness of God's love and purpose. You are never separate from the divine. This truth, often obscured by fear, doubt, and societal conditioning, becomes clear as you awaken. God is within you, around you, guiding you at every moment. Your calling is to live from this place of intimate connection, to walk with awareness of His love and guidance in all that you do. This is the essence of spiritual awakening, the realization that you are not merely following teachings, but reflecting the very nature of God Himself. You were made in His image, and your life is intended to embody the wisdom, power, and love He has placed within you. Living from this awareness transforms everything. It requires courage, trust, and the willingness to release external validation. You are meant to be a living expression of God's love, power, and purpose. As you awaken, your life begins to align fully with this divine reality. You are on the correct path. In the embrace of this connection, you will find peace, clarity, and fulfillment beyond imagination. You are called to inhabit the fullness of God's love, starting by embracing the divine presence within. Church walls may have once defined the limits of your spiritual world, but now God calls you to exist beyond them, both in reality and in spirit. You are invited to experience Him not in the confines of stone and wood, but in every space, every moment. Your faith is meant to live dynamically in every encounter, every breath, every relationship. Living outside the walls means that no structure is required to bring you close to God. Your connection is already profound, transcending any church ritual or formality. Your faith pulses through your life, through your work, your relationships, and the way you encounter the world. To live outside the walls is to embrace the world itself as your sanctuary. God is present in the streets, on mountain peaks, in your home, and in the hearts of those you love. Spirituality is not measured by attendance, but by communion, constant, flowing, and alive. Trust this calling and know that God leads you to live your faith authentically, in freedom, power, and profound intimacy with Him. The chains of tradition can weigh heavily, rituals, expectations, comparisons to others, but stepping away from the church is a reclamation of spiritual freedom. You are liberated from conformity and invited to live a life guided solely by God. This liberation does not reject Him. It deepens your relationship, allowing faith to emerge fully unshackled by tradition. You are free to walk the path God designed, to embrace a life that is entirely aligned with your soul, and to connect with Him in ways that are alive, personal, and eternal.